So let's talk about some of the symptoms of fibroids in case you're watching this and you may not even know that you have fibroids, but maybe you're experiencing some symptoms. So let's talk about some of the symptoms. Constipation is definitely one. And you may not have all these symptoms. You may have just one and have fibroids. That's just fibroids. It could be a range of symptoms. Bloating is definitely a very common symptom. Anemia is very common because, of course, due to the heavy bleeding, a lot of women with fibroids tend to be anemic. You may have pain in your pelvic area, especially during your cycle, your lower back even as well for some women. You have really painful cramps, really bad PMS, okay? You have prolonged menstrual cycles. Your menstrual cycles can, last longer than 3 to 4 days, okay? Also, they may be irregular. You may bleed in between your cycles. You may spot in between cycles as well for days at a time. You may pass clots during your cycles as well, your menstrual cycles as well. That's another symptom, okay? You also may be experiencing infertility because that's one of the symptoms that can be one of the symptoms of fibroids. Due to the location of the fibroid, depending on the location, you may experience infertility. You may also experience, pain during intercourse as well. Also, one thing that's really common is frequent urination because the fibroids sometimes will press on the bladder. So that's another thing as well. And much, much, much more. There's so many symptoms when it comes to fibroids. And like I said, it ranges from woman to woman. Okay, you may be asymptomatic and still have fibroids. That happens sometimes as well. Meaning you have no symptoms, right? And the only way that you can really confirm is like through a sonogram or MRI that you have fibroids. Okay, so most women they don't know until maybe they're pregnant that they have fibroids. And you don't want to find out then. Definitely don't. So, and a lot of women may start off as having no symptoms, right? And then all of a sudden they start having symptoms due to the fibroids growing. So that's why I tell women, please don't ignore your fibroids. Please don't ignore your fibroids because they're just going to continue to get worse. And I even sent out an email to my email list. By the way, if you're not on my email list, get on my email list. Okay, I sent an email to my email list of a list of all the long-term effects of fibroids, from kidney failure to pregnancy complications to even, cancers, uterine cancer, because the same things that cause fibroids cause uterine cancer and breast cancer, okay, because it's estrogen dependent, okay?